Zendaya is becoming the biggest actress of her age, where she's currently charging $5 million a movie, but she's still dealing with a lot of family issues, and because of that, it's very clear her father is a piece of shit. And Zendaya does come from a very middle-class background, where her father Kazambe Coleman and mom Claire Stormer both were actually middle school teachers. The reason Zendaya got into the entertainment industry was her mom had a part-time job as a house manager to a local theater, and she would actually volunteer there when she was a kid. That was partly for how Zendaya got her first ever acting gig doing a local production of James and the Giant Peach, where she played the giant spider. That's what got her accepted into the Oakland School for the Arts, which got her into multiple other plays when she was a kid. It even got her some connections like the late Angus Cloud, who was one of her classmates at the Oakland School and later would become one of her co-stars in Euphoria. And then from that, she got the opportunity to audition for a Disney show that was going to be called Dance Dance Go, and she ended up getting the part, but they changed the name to Shake It Up. Zendaya definitely wasn't paid well doing the show Shake It Up, where they went for 75 episodes, but she only made $140,000, meaning she made only $1,866 an episode, and her co-star Bella Thorne said she was actually broke and only had $200 to her name when the show ended. Still, Zendaya's dad got ideas from this and actually decided to quit his job as a middle school teacher to focus on being Zendaya's manager full-time. Which, just to be clear, Zendaya's dad at the time had no background in the entertainment industry or any skill that would justify him being a manager to an actress, but the entire reason behind it was this was a way for him to legally take her money. That's because the parents of child actors do have to follow the Coogan law in California, which means that they have to actually put 15% of all what their kids make into a savings account for them for when they turn 18. This law was put in place because of Jackie Coogan, who made millions working with Charlie Chaplin in the 1920s and 30s, but his stepdad spent all of his money. California decided to pass a law named after his situation because he ended up being broke playing Uncle Fester in the Addams Family later on in his life. Still, Zendaya's dad declaring himself her manager was an extra way for him to take some money and not have to save it, so he was actually getting an additional 10-15% off of everything she earned. And for the record, Zendaya's dad really wasn't doing anything, where she was already signed with Creative Artists Agency as well as Monster Talent Management, which were her agents and managers and getting her work, so her dad was just getting money for nothing. And for the record, Zendaya's father is her sixth child, and he had 5 kids from his previous marriage who he wasn't really supporting that much, so he actually quit his job taking a massive risk where he could have given support to his other kids. Still, Zendaya succeeded where for her second Disney show, Casey Undercover, she made a lot more money at $1.2 million. Because of that, Disney also decided to hire her for Spider-Man, where she's made $12 million off the initial Spider-Man Homecoming trilogy. The money just keeps on coming in, where she's now getting paid $1 million an episode for the 3rd season of Euphoria. She has other movies coming in and modeling, so she's worth $35 million today. This means for Zendaya's dad, the good times have definitely been rolling, where he's made $4.5 million as her manager without actually having to do anything. And even after that, she spent $3 million buying him this mansion right here in Los Angeles, again just as a gift for him, where she paid $3 million in cash. Still, Zendaya's dad is not actually acting so appreciative, instead is acting very weird to the public, saying nobody ever talks about him or cares about him, and black fathers aren't appreciated in Hollywood. He compared himself to Matthew Knowles, who was Beyonce's father, as well as the Williams sisters' father, saying that no black father is treated well in Hollywood and people just don't talk about them. Which is really weird that he said that the same exact year that Will Smith played the Williams sisters' father in the movie King Richard, which was an Academy Award-winning movie, and the entire thing was focused on the dad. It also doesn't seem like Zendaya's dad really understood the point of being a father or a manager, where you do things for your kid or your client and you don't get the credit for it, but you boost their career up at the same time. Who could really be shocked seeing how Zendaya's father treated his oldest daughter, Latanja Coleman, who actually has cancer, and Zendaya's dad has offered no help at all. Where that story begins is Zendaya actually had his first daughter, Latanja, when he was only 14 years old. As Latanja's claim, she said her father was always disgraced by her because he had her when he was only 14 years old and preferred Zendaya because he had her when he was much older in life and she was actually planned. Zendaya announced she was married to her longtime boyfriend, Tom Holland. Latanja came out saying that she definitely is not going to get invited to the wedding and was blaming their father. Latanja saying she's only seen Zendaya 2 times in the last 7 years, and both times were treated as more of a fan meeting a celebrity, where she got to take photos with security around and then was forced to leave, saying it was the father's idea. And Latanja believes the reason for that is she was struggling with cancer as well as financial issues from the cancer, so the family was afraid she was going to ask Zendaya for money and they weren't going to allow that. But while Zendaya does have no obligation to help out her sister financially, there is some pressure on her dad, who's made millions of dollars off of his youngest daughter, has a multi-million-dollar mansion that he didn't have to work for, so he should put some money out to help his oldest child. This all really just paints the idea that Zendaya's dad is kind of a dirtbag, where he actually uses his daughter for money without really having to work, put his whole family at risk to quit his job just so he can help pressure her into a career and make money from it, and then at the same time he doesn't help his oldest daughter out, who is suffering from cancer, and he keeps his daughters apart, so it's just not good parenting. And with that, I'm Charles Peralta. Please subscribe to learn something.